And my questions are really about the difference between Portugal and the United States, because I know a little difference, like the volleyball in high school and the transfer to college, and I'm going
Hmm.
to be in there a little bit because it's very different from Portugal. In Portugal, you
Okay.
have like special clubs and not like clubs from the your school. It's an
Okay.
curricular activity and nothing doing with school, so it's very different
Right.
from the United States. Um, so that's it. That's my questions that I'm going to do. Okay.
Yeah, that sounds good.
My first question is: did you ever play other sports rather than volleyball?
Yeah, so I grew up playing basketball for most of my life, from when I was around 8 or 9 to about 15. And then once I found volleyball, I started just focusing on that full time. And I started playing volleyball when I was 14. So, but basketball was my first love, my first sport that I loved. And I thought I was going to be a professional basketball player. I thought I was going to be the NBA. But just but it doesn't work out, and I'm different sport now. But yeah, basketball was the what I played before volleyball.
You are now 24, if I'm not 20,
24.
24, right?
Yes.
Did you think about pursuing a different career than you have today?
Um, I didn't mean like. Do you think like I wanted to pursue like this as volleyball as a career or a different career?
A different career, like some other job?
Um, Not really. I was always very, very into playing as long as I possibly could. And if that meant going overseas for a couple of years to do this, then that was what I was going to do. I don't really want like an office job. Doesn't really suit me. I'm always want to, be active and be a part of this sport. So it's never, it's going to have to be an option in the next like couple of years when I move back home. But for now, and then when I first started playing, this has always been what I wanted to do.
Um, you are too young to this, but when you end your career, do you think that you can be a coach, a volleyball coach?
That's the goal. I love this sport, and if that means after I'm done playing, I can coach at a high level, specifically probably the college level back home. I would love to. Yeah, I mean, I want to stay in this sport for the rest of my life because this sport is everything to me. So I would love to coach as soon as I'm done.
In high school, like I said to you, I'm this is my primary topic. In high school,
Mm.
if I'm not mistaken, you have to take tests to be in the school team, right? Like take
Yeah, you have like a couple of like small little tryouts, and
yeah.
usually no one like gets cut. Everyone's kind of just
Oh,
put on a
okay,
team if it's like the freshman level team, like the first year, or the junior varsity or varsity.
okay.
So there's not a lot of people that get cut, but there are some tryouts.
Um, can you explain a little bit the application process to the team? Like what tryouts you have to do? I think that you feel that, so you had to apply to the team, right?
Yeah. Um, I mean, you have to obviously like know what you're doing on the court. You have to play well, and then they also make sure that you understand the game. So they'll kind of put you through a little test of your knowledge of the sport, and the rules and everything. And then there's also like a conditioning test to make sure you're just like in good shape and you can hopefully you can stay doing high intensity workouts all the time, and strength testing. So like the weight room, like squats and deadlifts and stuff like that.
So you can't go to the team if you like don't know anything about the game, right? Like the positions, like if you
You
if
would,
outside eater, like things like that.
yeah, you would have to know a list, like a little something, know what you are good at, and what you want to do, and what you want to learn, like you want to learn more of. But you definitely have to know a little bit about about everything before you even go try out.
That's a big difference from here. Here you don't
Okay.
need to know anything, and
You just kind of,
you can join a team. Uh,
I like that.
but if you are not good enough and compared to another players, you are going to be benched. So
Right.
but that's very different from here. Like any club you can go, you can join. So you don't need to know anything. In my team, last
Gotcha.
year enter a player. Almost 17, and
Hmm.
last year, um, my team member from a team member joined the team, and he didn't know anything about volleyball, and still joined the team,
Hmm.
and now it is playing some games, but he didn't know anything and still joined the team. So that's a big difference from here.
That is a big difference. Yeah.
Um, you also played at University of Hawaii, if I'm not mistaken, and UC Irvine College, right?
Yes. So I started my career at UC Irvine,
Mm-hmm.
and right out of high school, I played 1 year there. I didn't play. I redshirted, so I wasn't like allowed to play in the matches. I was like more of like a practice player just my first year, just because I
Mm-hmm.
was young and they wanted to allow me to have 4 more years after that. But I left after my first year, and I went to a junior college and played at Irvine Valley. And that was a great spot. I loved it there. And then I transferred to Hawaii after 2 years at Irvine Valley.
What difference do you say are the most biggest between playing at high school and college?
I mean, as you get older and you play against better and better players, the speed of the game is always just going to be the biggest difference. Um, Everything just gets faster. You have to read the setter, and the setters get quicker, and then the hitters get stronger, hitters get bigger, and you have to learn to adapt with the speed, and that's gonna happen with every jump you take to the next level is the speed of the game.
In college, is common for students to apply for like basketball rather than volleyball. The volleyball, it's like football. It's like a common
Yes.
sport in America.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, especially in the men's, volleyball is not that big in college as
Mm-hmm.
compared to the women's side, because there's not that many options for the guys. So it's very competitive to get to go to college for volleyball. So a lot of people, if you don't know you can go to that level, then they don't take it that far, and then they usually do something else just because they know they have a better chance to get into that one school that they want to go to for something else.
Mm-hmm. Um, of the all clubs or schools that you played in, which was the one that marked you the most until now?
Um, I want to say Irvine Valley College, so my junior college that I went to. Um, I was when I first got there, I was sad that I left a D1 school to play at a lower division, but it allowed me to fall in love with the game again and to love this, like to realize that I love this sport. And my teammates were great. I had one of the best coaches in the whole state of California, and even if probably in the country. And he just changed everything for me, and I love that school. I love that program.
When you entered the American national team, when
Hmm.
was you enter what in
Oh,
what
so
year?
yeah, so I joined the first summer in the national team gym was 2019, the summer of 2019. I got invited to join the national team to train, and that was the best feeling I've ever had was getting that call from John Spraw saying like we want you to come train, and you're home right now, so it's nice that you're not overseas, so you can get some great reps in, some great work in. And then I was on my first roster for the Norseca Champions Cup. Um, summer of 2019, that same summer. So that was awesome.
What are the things that young people that join the national team should do primarily, like to be
I think,
finest?
yeah, just have a great attitude in the sport. Like when you first join the national team, whatever national team you're joining, whatever where you're from, I think you have to be patient and just kind of, because you're probably, if you're a young guy, you're probably not going to get a lot of reps when all of the top level, like
Yeah,
Olympic roster guys are going to be there. But if you have the opportunity to be in a national team gym, talk to the top players, I think is one of the biggest things. Stay after the practice is over, get some more reps with coaches or other players. And just, obviously work hard. When you do get in and when you do get a chance to get some reps, make them count and, prove to the coaches and the other players that you deserve to be there. Because it's a blessing, and it's a privilege to be able to be in that gym with some of the top guys in the world.
After so many years playing in the US, you moved to the Czech Republic, if I'm not wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Did you have an easy adaptation, like in language? I traveled to the Czech Republic, and I know it's very different from English and Portuguese.
Very.
It's very different. So, did you have a normal or easy adaptation?
I mean, last year when I was my first year in Czech Republic, I was
Mm-hmm.
in a pretty touristy city. Next to Prague, it's the second biggest city in Czech Republic, so it was a good fit for me to come straight in as my first year. Everyone on my team spoke English. Everyone in the city, it's like I was living in the city center, so everywhere I went, people spoke English. So
the tourist cities.
Yeah, so it was really simple. It was a good transition for my first year. This year I'm in a different city in Czech Republic, and it's not as popular, so there's not a lot more of English speakers. But I mean, with everything going on right now, I don't go out much anyway, so it's really not that big of an
issue. Have you learned to speak the language?
I know a couple words and a couple phrases, kind of the basics, just to get me by until. But I mean, it's such a hard language, and it's really like my coach speaks English, so it's my teammates. So there's really no, like, if I was staying here and I was moving here like indefinitely and going to be here for the next like 5-10 years, then absolutely I would. But if it's like a year-to-year thing, and if I'm leaving the Czech Republic after this season, it's too much work for me right now to learn this whole language. That is very, very tough.
Yeah. When you change countries, US to the Czech Republic, did you feel like your individual quality was not enough to play on the court?
Yeah, I think even with that summer at the national team, I didn't get that many reps, so I didn't really get to feel like the play style of professional players a lot. And so when I first got here and I was first starting, it was just a whole different speed. Like we said earlier, like it's a jump from college to professionals. The speed is completely different. And at first, I definitely felt like I wasn't even I didn't even deserve to be here, but it got easier. And as time went on, I felt more comfortable, and I know I'm a good player, so that's just being patient, and then I knew it would come back to me.
You are a middle blocker, right?
Yes.
In Portugal, normally your coach forces you to go in a certain position. In my case, I'm a middle blocker because I'm the tallest of my team. So my coach forced me to.
Yeah.
You was forced as well, or there is some history to that?
Yeah. So it was funny when I first started playing. I wasn't tall. Like I was tall, but I wasn't as tall as I am now. Obviously, it was 10 years ago. But he saw like my parents are tall and my whole family's tall. So like even though if I wasn't super tall at the time, the
You were
coach
going to
that
be
I
tall.
first
You were going to be tall.
I was going to be tall.
Yeah, yeah.
So he took the risk and he put me in the middle. And then that summer after my first club tryouts, I grew like 6 inches in one summer, which is quite a lot. And then I was like, okay, yeah, now you're going to stay in the middle because you're taller. And then I just stuck, you know, I got to play opposite for one season at Irvine Valley College, and I loved it. But I love middle too. Middle, it's what I'm good at. It's what I get paid to do.
What do you think is the characteristic that every middle blocker has to be? Of course, not counting the height. That is very important. What is the characteristic that you think?
I think is just being really quick, quick feet, quick hands, and quick eyes. Your eye work has to be really, really on point. You have to work on that and just knowing little tendencies from the setter, what they do with their hands, with their body, to help you get to, you know, every single position quicker. And then your footwork, if you can get there half a second quicker to, you know, position 4 to the outside hitter and block, it's going to be a huge change rather than taking an extra step, say. So if you work on your footwork and your quickness, I think that's one of the biggest things that I would say.
Are you thinking about returning to the States in the next years?
I would like to play for a couple more seasons, see how far I can get and see how what leagues I could get into. I know I'm not going to get into like Italy or like Russia in the next couple of years, so I know it's not going to be like my path and everything. But I would like to play for at least like 2 or 3 more years, to just kind of see where I'm at, but still, you know, travel the world and play the sport I love. But we'll see. We'll see. It, you know, always also depends on like my body and how I'm feeling. And I'm engaged, so I've got to get thinking about like getting married soon. And I don't know if we want to do that over here or back home. So,
do you probably you don't know, but in Europe, the Portuguese Championship is not very important in Europe. Do you think that you one day or one season can play here in Portugal?
Oh, I would love to play in Portugal. I hear it's a great country. I hear it's beautiful. Honestly, like for me, it's not about you know, the quality of, obviously if I want to play good volleyball, but if it's good volleyball and, you know, I love where I'm at, that's the only thing that matters to me. Like, I'm not in this for the money. I know it's like, I'm not doing this for like the rest of my life. So it's for these years where I just want to experience as much as I can experience. So if that means going to, you know, I want to go to as many different countries as possible. So I would love to play in Portugal. That'd be awesome.
The final 2 questions. How was COVID affect your life as a sportsman? I know the lockdowns, all of kinds of things, but in games and the training, what COVID affect you the most?
I think just it's weird playing in front of no fans constantly.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the biggest things. But I mean, everyone's just got to be smart. You know, we're not doing anything we're not supposed to. So we can practice every single day with our whole team, and we can play every single week with our whole team. We get tested right like 2 days before every single game, just to make sure that we're okay, and then we're playing 2 to 3 games a week just so we can fit in as much as possible with the COVID test that allows it. So But I mean, it really hasn't really changed much in like playing wise because we've been, we're getting tested and we're being safe. So there's really nothing changing on like the volleyball side of it.
Finally, the last question is I'm doing this question to all my interviewings.
Mhm.
What advice would you give to a young athlete who would like to have a future in volleyball?
I think I think I always say this to anyone who asks me that question is just you have to love this sport. Um, you have to love the game. Everything like everything else, you have to love what you do. Um, but I think this definitely takes more of a passion for this sport and to do this for a living. Because it's hard. It's not an easy lifestyle because if you want to play, you have to go overseas or you're going to have to, go to a different country. And it's hard being away for 8 to 9 months from your family and your friends and everything. And maybe it's a different language barrier or whatever. You have to love the sport. You have to be open to trying new things and to, working through different circumstances, however challenging they may be. Um, and then just for like the technical side of it, just watch video a lot. I wish when I was younger, if I knew it was like to watch video of like the best players in the world, you can learn so much from watching video and then apply it to your game whenever you get the chance to play and just try new things. And when you realize you can do things that you watch, you realize how great you can become and how great you can be. So those are two of things.
So that's it. That was my questions. Thank you very
Awesome.
much. Thank you very much for
Uh,
agreeing to do the
uh,
interview. I appreciate it.
yeah, I
So
appreciate you having me. Thank you so much.